Well, the program Good Morning Salone they continue, and as we tell on our headlines, in the program we they continue for look at the violence that happen at the country on Wednesday, August 10, Usai police officer them and civilian them lost their life and said property them being poor. Well, as the police then get responsibility for ensure so them protect people and life and property them. At the program this morning for this Friday edition of Good Morning Salone, we start at the police. Also, the head of media and the Salone Police, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Brema Kamara say police investigate over 100 people now for Sika the Wednesday, August 10 violence. Well, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Brema Kamara, explain more inside this interview with Joseph Songa for Sika, waiting police on the fair not so far, but waiting be happen on Wednesday.
For waiting be happen yesterday after the protest, the violent nature of and the things that will happen inside the protest will not be good. Especially we get for do with loss of lives, policemen then kill them brutally, and then equally so, then destroy a lot of property that will belong to police, because an institution belong to policemen them, and also government property them. So we try for at least the public get some information that we don't go for act on. But how more they come, must we make them they know.
So this policeman the way they talk about say then die. Almost number of these police they then die. And now whose part them police are them in the way they then die.
Well, so far we get 4. If the number go up, they will still make them very known, because people in the way the hospital were injured seriously. And then, but at the time we will prepare the report, we get 4. We one on the Freetown, the other one McKinney, and the other one 2 others in Kamakwe. But we get some on Freetown really some being critical situation. But at the time we will prepare the report, I will tell you say one death we get. But if any changes happen, they will also make the public know say changes don't be.
Now being arrests too by this protest, so people with the protest. Now do any arrest?
We arrest McKinney, yes. I think the number we get on McKinney for be something like 97. We will arrest McKinney, and then we also arrest Maboka for 16. And then some other arrests we are done in the western area. We, like I said, at the time we put the report, we basically do that compilation. But while this report go out, let people get some facts. You know, make people call them preliminary reports.
This arrest don't almost not total amount, because you talk about McKinney, you talk about me.
We get 113. We will work on 113. And then but on the way you will go for arrest after. You don't know that some people they arrest them the same way they commit the crime. So they will arrest them after they don't commit the crime. If you don't be able to meet them that able for arrest at that time, you will still get for arrest them as the case may be.
Because we see yesterday, we don't know if the coffee that still continue. I don't know, you tell family that the coffee that still continue.
Yes, the coffee they continue, but now we don't limit them to some places. Now the curfew now from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning. And now the coffee no more now like McKinney, Mabuka, you know, the western area. You see western area get the rural, get the urban. And then side and now I did the coffee where for day. You know, so the coffee still there, but we don't limit them because society will not get anything for do. Nobody no care violence go there. Nobody no do anything the way bad. Nobody no care protest go the way no illegal or lawful protest as the case may be. So you don't need for punishing people there. Why the coffee? So you know the big one them they really think say no, you don't get for punishing somebody for other somebody you don't act. And so therefore western area when I did the problem with it, we get to really cover the western area urban as well as the rural, and then talk about McKinney. We all know even Kamakwe, so you're not Kamakwe Adam, Kamakwe, Magoka, so all the area I did the Odgomi Boku. So that make it famous say we don't see that they will extend them. Then again, even the essential workers, I think we don't bring come some other one the way. Very important. Like the release of they do. I mean, we talk about people who work on a radio station, we talk about people who work on a television station, and the telecom companies, and a hotel, and a port authority, at the airport, people with the travel go out, people with the travel come in. All the one people with the exempted way for move during the coffee, but we don't add even the print media because they're also very important people away. They get late sometimes after we're in the off, we travel home. So the new release we see, we don't come out so quickly. For telling us some improvements don't take place from the time we first come out to now.
Yeah, as you say just now, you say them police officer them don't date till they die. So waiting police they about for do for them people they are away, they don't die for their family and waiting police will do for them.
With respect for honor them, I would expect say members of the public, the one the way they think, past the one they will do that way, we always know good for society. Then we join me for we get a civic funeral for them. Massive one way, at least the world gonna say they were the beginning in the line of duty, where somebody can take their life. So the family and several left. They're gonna see them picking them immediately, then die, or then kill them whilst in the serve state, whilst in the serve, they perform their lawful duty as policemen.
You're not getting police station with them
born Boku. Even Kamakwe, them not only born the station, then born the barracks. Like now Kisi division, the Kisi police market post, within the old road. Then vandalize them, approved school, then vandalize them. Congo attack police post, then vandalize them. Well, the police post, then vandalize them. Now about division, PWD police post, then burn them down. Understand? You can't Waterloo, Basaton police post, then burn them. Corner kick, 555 police post, then vandalize them. Lompa police post, they burn them. Tombo Junction police post, then vandalize them. Even two government bosses, boss will not get that for the boss. When they take you from one point to another point. Other problem they use them. You go, you burn them. Nasit office. You not get nothing for do to happen. You go, you burn them. Nasit them with a house. Understand? Even the Ministry of Lands. Then get office now Waterloo. Then burn them. I mean, this is a rebellious act. Those guys were rebels. Any carry on for this cabin, they were rebels. Complete rebels.
That's the head of media now, the Sierra Leone Police, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Brema Kamara. But they talk about that interview there with Joseph Songa for Sika, waiting police on the final so far for the Wednesday, August 10 violence will be happen.
The program, Good Morning Salone, continue. We continue for look at more issues with regard to the protest. Usai, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Constituency 028 now Connaught District under the Coalition for Change C4C Party, Honorable Sir Charles, don't call on government for make sure say them put measures there in place where go promote peace and security in the country. He talk this in one interview with Radio Democracy where he been the talk about them party position on the violence we happen August 10 this year. We say he say them party they against violence we happen. Well, he talk more to Cherno Jalo inside this interview.
We position very clear as a political party because we believe Sierra Leone as a nation, if we want for go before, if we want for progress, if we want for see development, peace and security come first. So the loss of the life of any Sierra Leonean are a concern to we as a political party. So the incidents will happen across the country. So we see a spate of violence, outbreak of violence at various parts of the country. As a political party, we're not glady. We're not day in for anything when a violence. Sierra Leone as a nation, we don't go through a lot. We all know the 10 to 11 year civil war where we don't come out through, where we don't go through as a nation. Anybody we don't suffer the crunch of the civil unrest where we don't go through in this country, you not go day in for anything where go lead to violence. So now as a result of that, we condemn that outrightly.
Okay, make I take you back. You start to make mention, say, Salone go to 11 years of rebel war. We are in the destroy thousands of life and properties. Them way, una na this party now. I don't see situation like this don't happen on the 10th of this month here. So, how for manage the situation now?
Well, C4C as a political party for far too long, we don't dey always dey remind the government say dem get a responsibility for protect lives and property, for maintain the peace of the state. It's in the hands of the government. Now the government in responsibility for ensure that there is peace and security. Not to all time we for they take reactive actions, we for they take proactive measures. You don't say certain thing they no go breed peace. Now a recipe for chaos. If you don't suspect anything with a threat, with a serve as threat to the peace of the state, as a government, we believe say for step up and take swift actions for see that we remedy them situations, then we tackle them.
So talking about proactive measures the government for don't take for make this situation not reach the level we don't do so now. As an honorable member of parliament, we they make law, what do you think the government for don't do? We will tap the situation for not reach the level we do so now?
Well, C4C as a party, we don't always get the view that we strongly hold the view that Sierra Leone are one nation. And we believe, say yes, we get a government headed by His Excellency, the President Julius Maada Bio. We believe that the people of Sierra Leone gave him a mandate through the ballot box in 2018, and that mandate day for come to an end in 2023. So from 2018 on to 2023, we still believe, say, he's the president. He still have the mandate of the people of Sierra Leone for govern we until 2023. So as a result of that, we believe, say, the people of Sierra Leone, whatever situation we face now as a nation, we need for endure, we need for bear, and face the ballot box come 2023. Follow we decide back, either for withdraw we mandate or for renew we mandate. C4C no go support anything of violence. So violence is not the answer.
Okay.
So
now we watch out the C4C part now get huge constituency when they govern. We so many people know they follow una party way they take whatever una say who clan and sinker. Una message to them people in the as well for maintain peace in the country.
Well, this is really unfortunate. You agree with me, say for the past 3 to 4 days, the nation has been fragile. A lot of people worry. Even as there are calls coming in, people concerned, people want for nobody and loved ones them. Nobody not happy with the current trend. Always we they say now that in whatever way we people engage going to, we know say things are hard, things are difficult. But all of they say now that democracy detects that we for allow the rule of law, right? We don't vote in the government. Come what may, the mandate we give them not done it. No matter how dissatisfied we are with the current administration, we therefore exercise patience until we lawfully take them out come 2023.
Aside from giving out a press release, C4C get any plan for engage supporters as we for calm the situation down?
Of course, for me this thing don't happen. We don't engage with numerous supporters and members for remain calm, for remain law abiding. So we said to the government, open up, accept people, listen to the views of others. If people then say no want this or this they affect them, call them to the round table, sit down with them, talk. Lastly, let nobody attribute this to any political party. As far as I'm concerned, I don't see several press releases from various political parties they condemn this act. Together as a nation, we all for come together and correct the wrongs. We call on His Excellency as political parties. Let we sit down together. Let we map out strategies as to how this country will go able to maintain peace as we work towards the elections come 2023.
Well, that now, Honorable Sir Charles, we represent the C4C party. He been the talking party position for Seka the violence will be Wednesday, August 10. The program you listen to now, Good Morning Salone, we come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM.
7:47 at the time from a studio clock from the C4C party. We continue for talk to more political party them inside this edition of the program Good Morning Salone. As we tell you now, we dedicate the program for talk about issues them we happen on Wednesday. Also, we see violence na different parts of the country. And self later we go for come to the studio guest them for talk about waiting for do for maintain the peace na the country as it is currently. Well, we go now na the NGC party. Also, the National Secretary General for the National Grand Coalition, NGC Party, Alhaji Amadou Sharif, don't say. Then they ask governments for make them engage with different political party, them, civil society, and other people for make the country go get roundtable peace talk because it's a peace important for the country in development one. Alhaji Amadou Sharif talk this way, even the talk about them party position for sake of the violence will happen now. Different parts of the country Wednesday, August 10 this year. Well, he explain more inside this interview with Princess Pias.
We're concerned about the act of violence which take place all over the country. And I hope Salone people that know say NGC be don't be the whistleblower that will be done. They say there's a need for we sit down a round table for we discuss peace. So this why we look at them as an eye-opener for the 2023 election, that there is a need for we sit together and discuss peace. We they ask government for making ready for engage both the political parties them and also the civil society for making sit down for discuss peace. Peace is very important in Salone. We all know say the country need attention. Nobody no will miss that one day. We know what they happen at the country. So now make this peace here very important. We know the government we don't get peace commission. We also ask government for me to empower the Peace Commission for me to really work very hard for we bring peace in Salone.
You just don't make mention of peace. Some of the things the way people them be talk, be highlight some issues them we make them protest. So with them kind of situations then they way lead to them kind of thing in the way people in talk about. So within NGC, then they suggest to governments for CC then come and discuss issues them where people will get concerned with governments. I wanna think say governments for handle some of their issues indeed.
From where we come, we be done the go now all the marketplaces where they look at the hardship in the country. I want believe say waiting engineer some of these things and the hardship within the country. So we dey call on the government for making listen to the voice of the people. We all know say things are very difficult now. We be done the go na them marketplaces them. We dey look at market prices. We dey look at things them where they go up, and we dey tell government say things are very difficult. Make them listen to the voice of the people. I feel say this na the time now where government for able to sit down with the people them, not a time for heavy-handedness. This na a time for call the people to a round table make we discuss the way forward in the country.
The issue of dialogue now one thing where different civil society organization they know they call for make governments get with the people. So una think say dialogue na the way for address some of the issues there.
We say first not when they solve the problem. Dialogue nine they solve problem. Nine are the solution to problems. Political parties, the interreligious council, Lord, we sit down at a round table. Lord, we discuss the way forward. But frankly speaking, my sister, this yesterday what happened now an eye opener for the 2023 election, and we are not good. This is the time for peace. Frankly speaking, we don't tell youth same from where we come as NGC party. We say the time this not the time we possible forgive drugs, we forgive other things for make you able go na the rampage. This is not the time for make youth able really sit down, concentrate, they're not for settle for the less.
With all of the issues that we don't see concern on the commodities, people on the point finger at governments, but at the same time, people are also the call for the whole responsibility of citizens them. So what do you think say for be the responsibility of citizens them?
As NGC, we not blame government for what happen, not a government only responsible for what happen. The citizens themselves responsible for what happen. You understand? So waiting we they say, now make we they call dialogue. Whether it's government, whether it's the citizens, this is not the time for talk. Lord we sit down, Lord will not shift blame on one side. Lord will all sit down at a round table, Lord will look at waiting happen. And Lord will see how we go able to avert this type of thing again at this country.
That's now a voice from the NGC. Usai Princess Pias been they talk to the National Secretary General for sake them party position, but waiting be happen on Wednesday na different parts na the country. And a name na Alhaji Amadou Sharif The program Good Morning Salone they continue 7:52 at the time from a studio clock, and we continue for reminder that today we dedicate the program. We continue for look at what will be happen on Wednesday, and one for the talk to different people as to waiting and waiting need for be done now for maintain the peace. In as much as authority them we concern, still they investigate for no. Forget to the bottom of what will be happen on Wednesday. Well, at the studio this morning, I want to welcome one of our guests them with at the studio, Aisata Mahoy, in the National Network Coordinator for West African Network for Peacebuilding, ONEP. Then at the studio this morning, where they can talk about the same issue and talk about waiting need for be done for maintain the country peace. Good morning, welcome to the program Good Morning Salone.
Good morning, good morning listeners, good morning viewers on Facebook.
All right, well, it don't taste more we're not getting at the studio actually, but I believe you have done the follow-up on waiting and waiting. They happen at the country currently, especially the incidents will be happen on Wednesday because we've been get police on Friday on the phone. We've been confirmed so then get intelligence say some people want for demonstrate for 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We see Monday, Tuesday was calm because we've been see security personnel there all over the place. They ensure people and say their safety, them guaranteed, let them come on and go about them business. But on Wednesday, unfortunately, we've been seeing the unfortunate incidents will be happen and it lead to loss of lives of security personnel and civilians, property them poil and all of that. So where different people don't get the definition of waiting be happen that day, the investigation they go on from the authorities them for ensure so they get to the bottom of that. But you know person way done the work by issues them we get for do with peace, and on our network they focus on issues them we get for do with peace. At this time we really want to discuss issues as to the current state of the country and how for maintain the peace. But let me just start for no first from ONEP. Waiting and waiting you think say missing we make Salone reach to that stage you said reach yesterday. Waiting we miss assignation.
Fambulemuna, good morning. First and foremost, I want to say RIP to the one that we lost their life during the 10th chaos we happened at this country. And we say to the Fambulem, where them people then die, picking them husband, wife, we die during that riot day. We want to say we're sorry on behalf of my network. We're at the West African Network for Peacebuilding Salone, and also at the other country in Africa for say we are unfortunate that we get incidents like that. So first for answer your question that for the weeks following this week, we've been done to get them kind weinformation in there. And since ONEP in there for look at early warning issues, we've been done they gather data on this, and then we've been done understand say there is going to be a demonstration where we self not been tapped. We've been there on radio, we've been there on television, and we don't they talk about it, and they plead to people them make them not go out on the streets, and if then they go out make them do a peaceful protest. When in we been they look forward to, when in we been they expect. Because you ask me waiting at the things that we're missing. Waiting missing, engagement missing, dialogue missing. It don't say as a country, when you don't understand from the people, look at the economic hardship, look at the unemployment rate, all them things and the people don't they talk about them a lot. I think the missing link here is dialogue and engagement.
Between all that them.
Between government and the citizen. And also, I think we self as civil society get a role for play. Although some of we they play we own part as peace-loving Sierra Leoneans them, and because we own role in a peace, we don't play we own part, but we alone not able to solve the problem of this country. So the missing link na in that one day, we don't the cries them, we know they talk about them, we know they engage the communities, for make communities they able for understand say this is happening in the world, this is what we have been through, this is how we are going to solve the problem. We're not able for put them strategy then they together, how for bring people them together in a community. So in my last program them the past 2 weeks, we are doing a radio and television, I don't they talk about government, even though they get attacks from everywhere. Civil society now, when you talk to people, they attack you. But that they not mean say we they relent for talk. you know, because for me, political parties, when you talk for them, when it suits them, at the time they sabi you. When things go the other way, then take you as an enemy, as then begin to attack you. So me think say waiting we need to talk about now that we forget structure them at community level, where we call alternative dispute resolution mechanism them, where they look at and GRM processes them, grievance mechanism them, where they try for solve conflicts at community level. If we get them structure they also at that community level there, we know the result to them kind thing they also. So government now the blame when they blame government is that we don't see them for long, we know they engage. I remember when things will happen Namakeni, Lunsar, Tombo, and other areas then. Yes, UNDP been support through the office of the vice president for let we form the social cohesion team where they go na community, go find out what's wrong. Waiting make people they protest, waiting make things they happen in a community. Then been do that one day. But because it's not sustainable, money not there for continuously engage communities, things then go out of hands. People not they listen again. People will not they go down to people again for go talk about how we for continue forget peace in this country.
You mentioned about leadership. Let we look at the thing where you mentioned, say, Una as at one Puna be don't get this info about the demonstration. Whose role will play in engaging the local level leadership, for instance, then get the chiefs, then get the councillors, then get the honorables before you come to top leadership in government? I
mean, where we they do with engagements, we know they left nobody behind. Just like I tell you, if we want for talk to people, just like I can radio, so we they talk to people. And because we they deal with early warning, within our community level, we get to monitor them, where they gather data, inform we on the data, and with the response. We they respond to them information and the way we they get, talk to communities them. Just like I say, we don't they try as an organization. But OneUp is not the only organization that is there. We have others, and I believe so themselves they do their own work. And what's in me think when I the missing link again is that because people think say they aggrieve, they not qualify against say them for take to the streets, they form violent activities. Where that violence doesn't solve the problem. Why would you want to kill another man? Because you aggrieve. Because you say economic hardship day. Why you want for take cutlass? Why you want for take weapon for the faith? Ain't all right at all. I think say in a dialogue, we all for listen to ourselves, listen to government self for listen to the people them, so that we're able for solve them kind of intention. That's the way they happen. Look at what they happen. Just a few weeks ago, a report came out say we they third in Africa for being one of the most peaceful nations. We don't try as a country. We don't try as a government for make we able for maintain that particular status there. Why we want for derail the efforts? Why we want for go back and spoil all that gain the way we want for make peace and violence is not always the answer.
All right, continue for the between at the studio in voice. The voice will be listening to Sogiston na Aisata Mahoy, the National Network Coordinator for OneUp. Earlier this morning, we talk about the issue that happened on Wednesday, where we lead to loss of lives and property them, and we go for discuss as a way forward as a nation, what need for be done for ensure say we regain and maintain the country peace.
The program is still listening to Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We get Dr. Aisata Mahoy, National Network Coordinator, West African Network for Peacebuilding Salone, where they talk about the Wednesday incident and violence in Salone generally. And Doc, we don't talk about una position and what you wanna do before the riots, we wanna get the information. But let we look at the role by different sectors of society. Government get role for play. Opposition get role for play.
Certainly.
Civil society get role for play. Yeah. And other sectors of society get role for play. What do you think then are the role of the different bodies also at this time where the peace of the country threatened?
Oh, well, for me, I think first I start with civil society. Of course, we role now we for bridge the gap between the governed and the government, where we for try for bridge the gap between government and the citizen them, where I believe say we they perform that role they, even though people will challenge say it is not enough. And also when civil society they then SSF even challenge with the young work what then they do, then challenge with resources. They cannot be everywhere. And so that's also now one of the things them way they unbog the kind role where civil society they play. Then as government, I've been done talk say the role now for make sure say they're able for govern we well as citizens them. But you SSF no say it's not easy for meet citizens their expectations. In as much as government feels say then they do something, but citizens they feel say they not do enough yet, so they need for do a lot more. And so that role the NCSF really challenging because remember say we government since then come in 2018 trying for put policies together, trying for implementing a flagship program. Then also they look at how for make sure say they look at the economy when I know the storming block, when I know the problem we make sometimes we reach to this particular level when one of the problem then I think say them suppose for do a lot more in terms of how for ensure say then revitalize the economy, how for ensure say when look at policies then we go enable the agriculture sector when we depend upon this country a lot more for let we work very well in other parts for make our economy look a bit stable. So governments are then they play that role they make sure say all the arms of government then the able for function very well, not for interfere upon waiting the justice sector they do, not for interfere upon waiting other areas than they do. But governments they try in their own bit. They're not able to satisfy or maybe do everything in 1 or 2 years. We see the Corona come, INSEF can do own, and all that one they help for well some of the gains that we would already make. You see now this Ukraine and Russia fight, INSEF able don't bring in own come inside. But as a people now this country, I think say we for able for engage and talk for make we people able for understand why would they in this particular situation. And you look at the role of the opposition. For me, I don't think say the opposition they do a lot more in terms of trying for make themselves able for support. Because if you as an opposition party, you think say you self you get for Kamna power or you want for Kamna power, now supportive role we all for the play, but not to all time where they say something, then we go back. We they walk out in a parliament, walk out on events. Then they know they solve problem. So we for work as a country, we for look at the interest of the country and put them before. So when we fail for do all that thing in there, then we result to wait till we result so.
Now,
and the incidents were happening in the first place, it uncalled for, and we did against that totally, and we know they support that one day. Neither would they support any political party for make them think say they go score any card.
You think say then different rule way, then different institutions or sectors think for play in peace building, they don't they play over the years?
Well, like I say, we all done they try. Governments they try their own beat. Civil society said they try their own beat. Opposition said they try their own beat. But like we all know they do more. Remember say we all know they do more. Waiting we for do for make Salone come up and this.
So at this stage, in as much as you don't make mention of waiting need for be done in all of this, because of the incidents we happen on Wednesday and people now want for Salone they go on that path the one thing we people don't say again, we need immediate short-term and long-term plan them as to waiting for do as a nation. For the immediate plan them, because right now everybody most people just angry. People are
grieved.
People are vexed. They have to you go bring somebody say we can't talk for calm people down. It go bash back instead of calming the people then down. People and just vex. As an immediate plan, also for starts, waiting for do for so begin call people in heart because now when you had call, you go begin discuss peace. People in heart I'm waiting for do.
Yes,
at this stage.
Maybe we ask no one something like we when they talk peace. Me ask not the one panatin. I talk and say the other day I did on television on Sunday. One of the political party representative with it. He attacked me, but that's not mean say I for vex. We continue that program. I talk waiting I go for talk and waiting me things say right because now me own role at the play.
Because now some of the issues and the way they come up, like if you didn't have forum, bring somebody say, "Let we can't talk to people and for make peace." Then the one the way they come back get Wamat outside for
Wamat not they ever solve the problem. I mean, don't talk not so violence they take for talk case. You know, at this particular moment, waiting we need. Me, if they start with me own institution when I they represent, we mandate now for make sure say we reduce conflicts now at community. We'll find out first waiting are the triggers of conflict, help for reducing conflicts then they na the community and try for promote peace and sustain them. Now that's now we role. So at this particular moment, we just try for talk to Sierra Leoneans them. You know, and not say people and they go say then the vex by government and other thing. But we all get for come together as government, as civil society, as opposition. We work as a team. We get one voice and talk as long as now for something we go better Sierra Leone. Let we put we ego then down. Let we work as a team and try for engage communities. Me watch what na engagement and dialogue. I always they talk. Let we talk. If the opposition feels say they agree, then not for then for look at ways we go make sure say the agree where they agree not get anything way for affect the nation at in a negative way. When so plenty people they look at them now say then get hand for play inside waiting happen. When me not come now for can talk about who that get hands and who that no get hands for play under waiting happen. But me just they try for condemn say waiting happen no been get right for happen and as a result it don't bring we come back or they try for can we go to a place where we no want for day. We don't seem for forget waiting happen in the inside the war where we then image then they what we see then footage then they what we see not to good footage for any country where they try for cripple already people and also they blame international community for waiting blaming international community for we mess what they create. No, me not they blame the international community because they self don't do a lot even though they still try to support we, but me not they blame international community where we don't create a problem for we self would they expect say then for create magic for can pull we and that problem day.
So you don't they talk about dialogue. Say dialogue be missing a lot of this we make we result as a nation to Wednesday August 10 and dialogue again you say we need a moving forward. But this dialogue moving forward, how you go get people for understand, say dialogue na necessary in all of this way. For some people, we don't see say na fire for fire. If you say you want for suppress me, I go give you back fire. Fire for fire now seem for the happen at different parts outside the violence and don't they happen. How for manage this situation?
And you know, I still they say fire for fire not they solve problem. For manage the situation, I think say the opposition by now. There's a need for Tranga one. Because when you check, all waiting they happen are their own strongholds. And you go begin beg the question, say, why not the stronghold? Now, so many questions are coming. And this thing are international something right now. You look at Jazeera and yesterday, so about Salone. Even my executive director been talking na Al Jazeera. You look you listen to BBC, na the same thing. So it don't go international and it creates a very wrong picture. If we the opposition say we want a better Salone, now for begin work towards a better Salone. They're supposed to come together. Let them all work with government. Government self already for create the environment where
because that's how I say the space day. Yes, the space day for the opposition, like their voice be heard.
Exactly. This na the other thing. Let government self create that environment where they all go call together. I believe somebody they talk about how opposition and government for work together. Yes, in government because na then na power. Let them call opposition. Now then the big one them today. Let them self invite the opposition into meetings and try for see how best for the interest of Mama Salone. Make them see how best to be able to solve the problem. Let them call them now, let them not come. You know, and this is not the other thing. You call meetings for political parties. Some of them, especially the big ones, and you hardly see them. You know, so how we go able to do this as a country? and a collective voice, a collective responsibility from we all. Na ingo help for solve the problem than I also.
Continue for stay with me inside the program. My name is Dr. Aisata Mahoy, National Network Coordinator, West African Network for Peacebuilding Salone. The program Good Morning Salone, they continue. Inside the program, we continue to look at more issues. We go now the Salone People's Party. We say the Secretary General for the Salone People's Party, SLPP, Umaru Napoleon Kroma say, then party they call on the Salone police for make sure say they investigate and bring to book the people them we responsible for the havoc we happen August 10 this year. He talk this in one interview with the Democracy where he will talk for them party position for sake of the Wednesday August 10 violence different parts them na Salone. Umaru Napoleon Kroma talk more to Kabia inside this interview.
What happened yesterday be very much unfortunate for the people of this country. It be very, very more sad, particularly we began for do with the loss of lives. 5 police officers were then killed brutally in the line of duty, and some civilians were then die. First of all, as a party, we want to extend sympathy to the one who then lost their life yesterday in that senseless madness we then bring on the city and some other parts in this country.
This thing don't happen. We see plenty people don't they talk say this thing is something where people be don't plan and people be don't plan and they don't plan say we for do this. So una as party, una been get any clone that's for say this thing for happen.
We be get the audio from one terrorist within Holland, we them call Adebayo. We pull audio. He say people them for Komoda do they for can attack President Julius Maada Bio and the SLPP. Adebayo, the terrorist within Holland, he make that audio day. Apart from Adebayo, many other people them with some in America, other way they call Jibril Bangura, they all within social media, and some other voices then they make audios them, they share them all over the place. Adebayo, we all know which party he belong to. So it only stop there. Even when the people that in the street, they cause mayhem, they kill policemen there, they still go again and make audio, and they tell us let them continue for do what they do. So we know say this now the plan of people them where they sit down together they do them and they get Adebayo the terrorist within Holland for able for air to the public and tell people them for let them come on and do yesterday.
Una's party say una no say na Adebayo they do am and other people them, but Salone police no know who that they do am and plenty people say na unknown people them. So una as party una don't get this clue. Una go able help the Salone police for say them bring them people here to Tobo.
Oh, if we get the opportunity for make sure say they bring Adebayo, Adebayo the terrorist, we call for this terror yesterday in our country, and all the one that they be enough for bring the can to book go help the Israeli police. Waiting it be planned yesterday for this country, by the special grace of God, it failed because it be the call to let the whole country rise up. But unfortunately for him, in company terrorists that didn't come away yesterday, they far they in a smaller number compared to the number of people that were in this country. Look at who said they come away yesterday. Inside this western area we made you today, now some part of the western area, Wellington, Calbaton, Waterloo, the car up gone, then stop na Sania Bacha Street. The entire country, Makeni, Kamakwe, Lunge, I don't name the places there. Look at the remaining country, Kwenadugu, Falaba, Kono, Kailan, Kenima, Bo, Bond, Moyamba, Pujon, you name them. They all became very, very peaceful yesterday. Everybody go on in normal business. Everybody understand who said Julius Maada Bio, president of this country, don't take this country out from, and who say don't fix the eye for Kranguto. They don't listen to that mad terrorist within Holland. We they make all this problem here in this country.
According to you see when the people them they come out now, they say for let them pull president Bio must go, and you're not legal somebody, then you talk on behalf of the party. You think say na the right channel and the people them use?
We all know say for remove a government and power and a true election, democracy, 1991 constitution. The one that we them come out yesterday, they say that they can remove President Julius Maada Bio. And they go to State House, and they go attack State House. That's purely what man called insurgency. The protest was very, very much violent, and it was an attempt for take over the reins of government. And it was incited by Adebayo, the terrorist, and a group of people with the DBNM. And soon, the people of this country, they know the group of people. But we all know, say Adebayo, in no uncertain time, as one audio the way Adebayo will be made clearly that this country, he refer himself as a member of the APC. We get that audio day. So if Adebayo, they make them calls and they make them directly on behalf of people them.
During this protest, we see them in the born different side and all. So on a party office been safe, now the different pattern of freedom.
Definitely, I be the girl for Camden and inside Freetown, we get party office now, we headquarters now. Of course, they not reaching at the central business district. We get party office na Poti. We former chairman Mara, the bill. Then go to the vandalizer, they broken down. All road. They go see one building, they say na SLPP man get am. Any property where they identify, say this na SLPP person get am. Then they destroy them. We Unity attire base, they destroy them. The party office the way they get outside them come on. They destroy them. They come out, they begin to burn government property there. They burn police stations there. They burn police posts there. They loot police posts there. They burn NAXA office is there now. Bo. And this again, people they want just because they want for take power violently, they don't want for wait. Elections is less than 9 months. If you really believe yourself, say you able to convince the people of Australia again for vote for you, bring can to power. Why not wait? They need to make sure say people them come on the street, they holler say, President, you must go. I see a video of a woman who hope like I say, we see not come on the street today. You know go back like we pass and put President Bill in power. That was very, very sad. But those who then they behind this wire with the call on the government for spare no movement and for make sure say they get them and bring them come to justice.
So it's all this way to happen. People they call for peace now. So waiting at the peace message with the party they send now to Sierra Leoneans them out there, especially the young people and the women they will be in sick at the protest.
What we call for? We call first of all on the entire membership of the SLPP for remain calm and peaceful. We call back again on the majority of Sierra Leoneans and this part of the country remain very calm yesterday. Let them continue for remain calm. But waiting we call it strong for what they call for very strongly and for justice. They say there is no peace without justice. The one we call people there yesterday when Adebayo plus and other people them plus the one that they back them. Any other person with police or investigation discover say hand inside there, therefore bring the all count to the book. And the one day yesterday, where they arrest and the act of that violent process, the one that they identify, where they beat that innocent policewoman, we only day out yesterday for work for fairly living. The one day where they day in this country, where they be the call for this violent demonstration, protest yesterday. The one day they write, where they call for this violent protest, where police don't get that information. And we say any information we get with the sheriff, with the police, for make sure say they bring their camp to book and justice for prevail. That's the only way we go for make sure say it's very, very much peaceful. And we continue for say kudos to the entire country. We stand yesterday up and say no to this madness and no to Adebayo. All in backers the one way they be and say this is not the time for Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is not in for that. It's not now and it's no more. And it's not going to ever happen again with this country.
The program na Good Morning Salone, they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. You been listening to the Secretary General for the Salone People's Party, Umaru Napoleon Kuruma, been the talk to Kabia, inside an interview they who say it states them party position for Secretary Wednesday, 10th August, violence we upon na Salone. The program na Good Morning Salone, it come to you from 98.1 FM.
8:23 at the time from the studio clock from the SLPP. We go now na the APC, the All People's Congress, as then condemn the Wednesday, August 10 protests. Osai people been die and property themselves been spoiled. The secretary for the APC 21-man committee, Honorable Abdul Kabo, don't call on them supporter and member them, not for involved in violence or any protest, any part of the country. Well, we listen to this interview with Honorable Abdul Kabo do with Musa Kamara.
Firstly, we express grave concern over the unfortunate violent event, and also we feel that we citizens then lost their life in this very incident. We want for offer with deepest sympathy for them grave loss there. We want for express we condolences to the family, and we want for express we sincere condolences to all other lost in people, and we pray say then soul go rest in perfect peace. As a political party, we believe say the loss of life under any circumstances is regrettable. We know for them a country where, at the end of the day, people then they lost their life. Now that make we want unreservedly condemn the violence in every form. We want to ensure say we condemn them as a party, and we want to remind all stakeholders and say citizens then get a right for engage in peaceful protest, but the peaceful protest for be within the law. if it be done within the law, the confines of the law, and nobody not for take the law not in hand. Similarly, the security forces them always get constitutional duty, constitutional rights, constitutional duty for protect and safeguard life and property, and then for exercise restraint within the perform then constitutional duty and then constitutional rights. As a political party, we want continue for reaffirm and reinforce with commitment for sustainable peace and national cohesion. More than ever before now with democratic institutions and with democratic processes in this country.
In your statement, you make key talking points them we can look at one after the other. But first of all, we look at the incident yesterday, and one of the issues them you say citizens then get the right for protest and if will be within the frame of the law, and also the states get the responsibility for protect and give the freedom for protest. Within this statement, how we go describe the Wednesday protest?
It's been violent, and we as a party condemn any form of violence in this country. This nation don't suffer a lot from the rebel war. We don't want to see anything where they take life and property in this nation.
Now, we look at the one way you say una committed to sustainable peace, but when you look at happenings, certain quarters them, especially within the ruling and government officials, some don't they point finger say the opposition, them statements them somehow don't lead to a situation like this, and they make reference to waiting the presidential candidate for the party in 2018 in statement where they allege they make Salone ungovernable. Now in the manifest in self they pass a party and the interim chairman of the party APC. What do you make up of then scenarios there also and the happenings then?
Because the party don't exercise restraint, the party don't do everything for make sure say we maintain the peace of this nation. You can agree with me, say a lot of things then don't happen to the party personally. As a party, we don't believe saying that violence they solve the problem of this nation. We believe in constructive dialogue, and at the end we don't engage in. We don't keep the peace of this nation because we believe say the only way we can our power back now through democratic means. So we want to advise anybody will engage in some form of violence, let it restrain. Now that only democratic means.
You disassociate the party with any violence will happen, and other school of thoughts they say you look at the trend of the protest how we happen now the opposition is stronghold, and that even though the opposition they disassociate themselves from the violence, now one way certain quarter no go greet with.
Times without number we don't disassociate ourselves from this very protest. Where the party one protest, we they pull a press release, we they own up and we they associate ourselves to the protest. But this protest, the party not get nothing for do with them, and the party condemn them, and the way it go, the party condemn them.
You earlier say the party and as an APC committed to sustainable peace and calm na the country. Somebody where they listen now, how committed the party they and how una go demonstrate this commitment to peace na Salone?
You know how they don't push the opposition a corner, and from then and day we have maintained the peace. We not do anything for destabilize the peace of this nation because we believe say 5 years election they come, and we are few months away to the elections. So there is no reason for let anything happen before the elections. So we kindly they ask every Sierra Leonean for keep the peace and make sure say then go register. This government was elected democratically, and the only way we will go remove her through democratic means and not through protest or demonstration.
With this regard, as putting a message to party supporters of the APC.
Let nobody not take the law in hand. Let nobody not do anything way unlawful. Let we all keep the peace of this nation. We know how Salone don't suffer from the 11 years rebel war. Let we not do anything way go destabilize this nation again.
That's now the secretary for the APC 21-man committee, Honorable Abdul Kagbo, be the talk another interview with Musa Kamara for Seka, the APC party position regarding the violence will be happening at Salone. Now some parts in the country Wednesday, August 10. To be studio guest again, Dr. Aissata Mahoy, come out and one up. We don't talk about how for maintain the country peace. Now we don't listen to different political parties, them and different interviews them where we don't play. And at this point, we don't discuss but dialogue. But again, in all of this, from the incidents we happen on Wednesday or before now, one other thing we concerned on the come from the public gets for do with use of words and blame game, we seem for they happen in all of this. as somebody where they talk from a peace background, the word and way we don't hear people don't they use against each other, they help in that kind of situation, yeah?
I think one of the most prevalent of what them where they go on social media now hate speech, violent communication, so we call them.
What about the word terrorist in all of this?
Now the indicators then one day where I'm not so pleased about. And I think say they go down well because like how we been they talk no more. Everybody look aggrieved na this country. All man look vexed. All man look tense. Or the situation not they become helpful. That kind of way they. So hate speech not they solve the problem at this particular moment. For the word, the use of terrorism, I am back in the past few days because rightly the way people behave, it show an act of terrorism. The kind of way people enforce make Sierra Leoneans them still they go with them barbaric way then they for behave na an act of terrorism where plenty what they don't come up back then this year so that they say na failed coup, that they say na attempted coup. Me not look them in that point of view. For the fact say people then for Sidom they become machinated and then people then use them for make then go out on the street on rampage that day, all in the name of rooting out a president where now unlawful things that they want and they uncalled for. I'm not happy with them and they are not pleased. We totally they against them. We totally they condemn them kind of acts then they and the words then where they go on social media. People then go cause some audio then they say because me know they before listen. And the one way they pull them audio, me know they lend credence to them kind people and they be who's party. I know they lend credence to people that like the one and they because for me, I think we need for grow past that and for less Sierra Leonean youth them mostly Sidom them brainwash them. A politician no go take him picking for let it jump na street for make it, then go kill him picking like fall. They can't do it. Now una the young one and where something no una right senses them then go use. Why somebody for can't tell you say I dey give you this go jump na street go misbehave because na exactly na that is show. And they tell well at all. Look yesterday they watch a video now put local. Then don't institute coffee. Small about them. They jump say we don't bypass the police and the soldier them. We then a street. We not get coffee na yaso. All that they unlawful. Now unlawful behavior.
Look at the roles of the leaders them. Now then at that level because I earlier mentioned say at the bottom level we get the chiefs, we get the youth leaders. We get the councillors, the political wing, we get the honorables, then we get the mayors, and we get the chairman, and we get the leadership, top leadership at the country as a whole. Whose role you think say them for play, or them if they don't play before we reach this level, or them go to play for prevent other happening like that?
I've been done talk earlier on about alternative dispute resolution mechanism them at community level. Where inside the mechanism then you get all them kind of people there, then category of people there so we talk about. And people the way community people they respect. But because again you look at some of the roles them where some of the leader then they play, local authority then sometimes they can become questionable. You look at some of the paramount chief them, for many years some of them don't they take sides. Government in, government out. These are some of the problems. So when you leader, you they take side, you as paramount chief, you support this particular political party. People don't go trust you. Because everybody gets right for belong, who say one for belong. But the Local Government Act make them very clear. The Paramount Chieftaincy Act make them very clear. Waiting at the Paramount Chief the role. Waiting they for do in terms of consolidating peace in their communities. Then let we go back and begin for maybe teach paramount chief them, teach local authority them, train them on how they for begin for uphold then kind structure then they and make them role very, very clear. So all that they help for support. When you look at them, so incidents that we don't happen between young people them and the paramount chief then and the community. Now disagreement, and then lack of transparency, accountability, all them kinds of things in there. Then they go wrong, and then community them. So we need for re-strategize and reposition ourselves as a country, even from that local level. For make we able for understand, say we are ruling people. We as a country, we for work as one and try for push the peace where we don't gain na this country. For 20 years, Sierra Leone then at the top list. For several years, for say now one of the country, the people they can't copy from we. Able, why we for allow we self for go down to that? For one person self-aggrandizement, and for the one them with the video the way they make rounds where people they claim say them will make the country ungovernable. It's uncalled for. It is not in place, and it will only lead to issues like this where we not want to see.
So the issue again we get for do with this anger and ego, anger management, how to find the way forward. One thing where people on the discuss say people not on the feel like they're right for protest, for gather and assemble. They're not on the able.
The laws or the treaties in which Salone don't sign make and clear say people then get freedom of assembly, people then get freedom of association, people then get right for talk waiting the money them. If you do them in a very peaceful manner, if you do them in a very responsible manner. The one the way they call for this protest, why they not show up? We need to understand any protest supposed to get leader or leaders. We will take responsibility of if something happen like waiting it don't result to so. All that thing go all responsible. We not been see that kind of. So now that make in one of my program them I talk and say that let people take responsibility and ownership. Come out, write to the police. Say we want to do XYZ. Police go guide you, or police go give you clearance for make you go do them, and let it be in a very peaceful manner. You agree, pass the message peacefully, make everybody understand what you want for say. Let we see that if government no go react accordingly.
You don't mention one phrase where you talk about dialogue, but let we look at the past sectors or the past institutions them or move. Look at the Bintumani tree. We been old. We government be organized for come with all the parties together and bodies them way concerned for promote peace na Salone. How you assess the impact of the Bintumani tree and the outcome in terms of maintaining peace na Salone?
Well, that's not been one of the things the way I've been think say not been the right thing governments been they do, and we've been they look at them also how. Then for me don't try for bring everybody together, even though they try to some points according to them letters then where they write according to the visits then where they make to some of the opposition them for bring opposition together so that they all go work as one, where we all go benefit from that kind engagement they as citizens then at this country. But we see say some opposition being clearly make them role clear say they're not able to participate. This is not a solved problem. It's not a solved problem at all. For make we they always talk say government for try for bring opposition together. Yes, we get right for talk, but because we feel say na they roll that one day, because na they na the papa or the mommy at that particular moment, we get speaking them or we get brother and sister them for bring them together. Yes, they get that role. But if then continuously they try for bring you together, you self they refuse. Then I think some of the things themselves, the opposition for all themselves responsible.
What you don't find out say maybe go lead to that refusal
because then feel say some of the things that we governments they do not right, then they feel say then they discriminate against them. These are the things the way they been the highlight. Then feel say there was no proper consultation. Where me no go look at that road. Me role as civil society. I think say we've been playing actually as civil society, trying for help for make we join that particular events day or arrangements day so that we self-young voices could be heard. And I remember saying me do presentation on behalf of civil society during that Bintumani 3. So we've been look forward for everybody for making them day on board. Well, although the opposition then gets their own reason why they back out, but that should not have been the case. As a country where they try for move to a development trajectory. Where they try to move from what we don't pass to a peaceful nation, we for work as one always. This na me own key. We all for always learn how to bring we self together as a team and one voice for the betterment of Mama Salone.
Continue for the way between at the studio, Dr. Asisama. We will come back to you. The program Good Morning Salone, they continue with the take shots. We can look at more issues.
EcoBank, the leading bank na Salone. Don't come.
Hey, this blow me mind, Bobs. You don't hear about EcoBank, the new service to the customer them. That's not the EcoBank Express Points. When I'm going for make it easy for me and you. We don't want to go with Stemna Bank. Now that make EcoBank Express Point they plenty side near you area like a pharmacy, shop, supermarket, and even na microfinance or any side where you see the Express Point sign. On top that, EcoBank Express Point they give you the service where you bank they give you even where the bank don't lock. Like you go put money, pull money, open express account, pay your bill, buy airtime, receive money through Western Union, and send and receive money through rapid transfer. When an EcoBank their own money transfer service, where they operate at 33 African countries them, outside EcoBank Day, and you don't need for carry any foreign currency. EcoBank care about you. You just go to any side where the agent and the Express Point sign day today for easy banking, easy access, no yagba.
EcoBank, the leading bank na
You know what in the money? I want couple now. But the waste time and the longer thing up and see them waking then at the bank. Now in the money right now. What in me go do? Ebo? So they are not go able for pay for this thing yourself. Welcome to GT Express Service. GT Express Service. Now who's one this again? This means say we banking made simple 24/7 and 365 days a year. Any site where you see the GT Express Point, just go inside. You go meet GT Bank certified agent. We go ready for attend to you with no yagba. With GT Express Service, you go open account, do cash deposit, able for withdraw money, do bill payments like EDSA, check your account balance, and buy airtime like Orange and AfriCell top-up. Avoid the longer line and team up working day at the bank for wait for you your couple. With GT Bank, we banking life change for good. GT Bank, it go better. You bank with we.
The program is still listening to the Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM, 8:45, and at the time from we studio control clock. Inside the program, we continue to look at more issues. We go outside the British High Commissioner and Salone, Lisa Chisney, don't call for dialogue among stakeholders them for return to peace and unity in the country. Lisa Chisney talked this with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation with other government to command them be engaged the diplomatic community for talk about the thing them we happen at the August 10 demonstration. Well, for more on this, we join Mangi Mansari.
Wednesday, August 10, one demonstration been take place in Freetown and other parts of the country. Outside plenty people lost their life and self-property them been spoiled for sake of this protest. Make the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation and other government officials them, like the Ministry of Information and Communication, being all one engagement for people them and the diplomatic community for tell them the different bad thing them will be happen Wednesday, August 10 this year. Professor David Francis, now the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, begin for explain some of the things them will be happen at this demonstration.
Let me start with the western rural area. At about 800 hours in the morning, protesting terrorists started to assemble at 555 Base Bassett Town and All-Night Junction in Waterloo, holding placards and legal right. The Sierra Leone police personnel attempted dispersing them, but they regrouped in large numbers and began their violent insurrection, burning tires, making roadblocks, and chanting treasonous songs. Some arrests were made with perpetrators taken to the Waterloo police station. The police station at Kisi Town in Waterloo was set on fire by these violent terrorists.
David Francis continues to say, during the demonstration, people being pulled, government to them.
Government vehicles were also set ablaze in Wallington by these violent terrorists. It's not a demonstration. Western urban area. At about 7:30 in the morning, these terrorists confronted the few civil Sierra Leone police personnel in Wellington, Calabar Town, Brahma Lane Market, Afro School, Perry Junction, Eastern Police, among others. Police officers fired tear gas canisters, hoping that the protesting terrorists would disperse. However, they didn't. Rather, they regrouped and in an increased violent disposition, charging for the police. The continued advancing, chanting that they are heading to State House to violently remove President Bio.
Professor David Francis carry on for talk about the different bad things them wey been happen at the eastern of Freetown the day where them they do the protest.
New Shell and Old Roads, there were confrontation between the terrorists and SLPP, the Sierra Leone police personnel. The protesting terrorists mounted roadblocks to prevent vehicular movement along Shell Old Road. They invaded the police post at Afro School and Wellington, vandalized the structures, and released violent image. The released prisoners later joined these terrorists, swelling up their number. Now today, Northwest region took to the streets in Kamakwe and Karini district. The Sierra Leone police presence was very thin on the ground, so they could not neutralize the terrorists. On the contrary, the terrorists attacked the unarmed SLPP support officer, Superintendent Usman Fofana, who was on duty, and they butchered him to death.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Professor David Francis, be end up for talk about the different side them. Who side the protest been take place? Who side is say na Lunge, people them been come out for demonstrate. Bombali and Tonkolili, na the other side them. Who side people been come out Wednesday, August 10 this year. Inside this engagement, where the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, the Ministry of Information and Communication, been get for member them at the diplomatic community. One party member them at the diplomatic community, where be attend this meeting. Now the British High Commissioner, Lisa Chesney, that this been get for see.
Arrests or the normal legal process has happened, and I am concerned that that will inflame things, so I'd welcome any comment on that. I think the question, Prime Minister, to answer is where does this go from here? You rightly have urged us all to return to business as usual. I think that's a very welcome request. As head of the nation, I would welcome a view on what His Excellency sees as the next steps to de-escalate and ensure Sierra Leone is quickly restored to a situation where the economy opens up and people feel able to go about their business. So how do we de-escalate? And my second question perhaps is for the ONS. We've heard the shocking stories outlined here of the unacceptable police deaths. What have you tracked in terms of civilian injuries and deaths as well?
Lisa Chesney continues to say, people can get right for demonstrate, but then for do them within the confines of the law.
We do, from a UK perspective, believe that even in difficult times, people should have a right to take to the streets, but peacefully and in a law-abiding way. And law enforcement needs space to do their job, and part of that job is also around de-escalation, ensuring any response is proportionate. There is no room for violence to bring about change, and that is absolutely clear. I think the second comment, enforcement is absolutely key, of course, when violence takes place. We would urge that that is carried out responsibly, calmly and proportionately. And I do want to raise a concern, and I'd be very interested to get a comment on this. I was concerned to hear already on social media, channel radio, talk of accusations against opposition figures before.
Another diplomat, where himself been talk, now the US ambassador na Salone, David Reimer, where he been the talk. He been read one letter where come up from New York, but what in them think, but the demonstration, now this been there inside the letter where he read.
Statement is we are gravely concerned by reports of violence surrounding today's demonstrations in Sierra Leone. We urge all parties to stay calm, promote accountability, and ensure respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms. And so in that vein, I'm very happy to hear your talk about de-escalation, dialogue. I would say that January 6th, the people who entered the Capitol were eventually arrested and put on trial. A number of them have been sentenced to prison, and a number of them are in prison right now. But not everyone who demonstrated on January 6th was arrested or is an insurrectionist. Just as not everyone here in Sierra Leone who protested yesterday is a terrorist. There's distinctions, and I think it would be helpful in lowering the tension to always keep that in mind.
David Reimer end up call on government for engage with the people where they involved in this demonstration so that the country will continue to enjoy the peace where be none they happen for the past year them. For Radio Democracy, Mange Mansari, the report.
All right, from that report, we come back to the studio guest. We now Dr. Isata Mahoy, the National Network Coordinator for ONEP. We don't talk about the issue of peace. And one important thing we don't come out from the discussion we don't get here this morning, get for do with dialogue and engagement we say the country need for let we go able for maintain the peace. But with the current situation now the country now outside this dialogue for begin, because if you go to the states then they throw and back say na opposition and they're responsible for this. If you go to opposition you go through and back say the government supposed for put mechanisms in place for maintain the peace. So outside this dialogue for start.
Well, the dialogue for start with everybody. It for start all side, because blaming we self for them kind of things so we don't happen. No, they solve the problem. Now it don't happen. The blame game no they solve anything. We just need to march forward, move forward from waiting down pass. We cannot undo this situation, but we not go allow the situation for repeat itself again. This na in don't happen, so we move. So government, when are the big one then get the authority for call on the opposition, and the opposition self supposed for join in the fight for push peace business going at this country. They're not for always they for just blame. Waiting themselves don't do as opposition for make sure they maintain the peace. So then also the young people them when are they mostly affected, apart from the security personnel then when they kill, then young people then why then self not supposed for allow politicians then for use them. Now every other political party, whether in opposition or whether in a government, every other political party they associate themselves from waiting to happen. We not send nobody, we not get hand on this. So who send una? Who that's not the leader them for that protest day? Where them? People then don't lost their life, family then don't lost them picking them, Sometimes some people then caught in between, even when not mixed by the demonstration. So, but when you get fed, now that's the happen. When elephants fed, the grass line they suffer.
Now look at the rights to demonstrate as citizens and also the responsibility for maintain peace during demonstration and respect for states, institutions, and also respect for other people. Now, Salombolo look at the right to protest and the responsibility during the time for where they protest.
Yeah, you get right. I mean, don't talk and say you get right for you get us on side and do you protest peacefully. Pass your case. Sometimes you go even write a position paper to parliament. Parliament go pass it to government. Say now these 10 people you also say they agree about. This then I outline the issues them where they know they agree about, where then things say governments they do wrong. Now another approach that when they don't work in other country then. They don't work in places like Ghana. You do a position paper, you write to government through the parliament say now this don't happen with where they happen where we no like. Let una see how government they respond to that one day. Then also because you get right for protest no means say you for do them in an harmful manner or in a violent manner. We go and bog the peace of other people. Everything they go with rights and responsibilities.
Government in, government out. You think say the people of Salone don't be given that right for demonstrate freely?
Well, in some cases yes. I don't go outrightly say no. In some cases, there have been issues of demonstration. There have been peaceful ones. There have been chaotic ones.
When last that happened?
The fact that it don't happen, it happen. So we for keep them kind precedents then they when we for look at too. But in most cases, just like we they say, when anytime where people then they go for protest. Just remember, say it go result to something like this. And as see that the most time make the police self they refuse for give the clearance where people then deserve. Why we as citizens not go conduct ourselves in a peaceful manner? Why we for be violent? Me own point of view now that peace, na the answer. We not for take the law now we earn. we not for be unlawful citizens. If we want for make them listen to we case, it for be in a very peaceful manner.
So as we wrap up the discussion at the program this morning, and you don't make mention repeatedly, but the issue we get for do with dialogue and anger management, waiting it for be done at this moment. Today is Friday, we're going to the weekends, we see the curfew still continue and all of that. Waiting how you left as a message, especially because when you look at how many angles, everybody getting responsibilities for ensure say we all contribute for maintain the peace of the nation. The authorities them where they in charge because they elect them on social contract and then suppose for provide that particular thing we needed for protect the people and lives and property them, even though then they expect say everybody for come as one. What's you message with the left with authorities then?
To the ruling government, they get the responsibility for making them protect the lives of citizens then. The human security of persons is very much important. And I think say at this particular stage where we don't reach, government need for strategize and try for see how best and they bring people them to go together so that we all go work as one. And for the citizens then, especially the youth, make everybody be calm and go back to their normal lives and continue for look for, if you been the fan job, continue for fana. I know say things not easy in this country. I know say the economic hardship is there, but it meet we all. We all they equally so get they get that kind pinch day.
And finally, now the one concern and the way I've been one for you at the yes as to the wrap up the program. We get for do it. There seem for be loss of trust because authority then they call people say, "Una open a shop them, una gonna on a normal business." But if you gonna tongue, you go really see say people are not opening their business because they not get that confidence. They say we are protected.
Yes, people afraid.
What's need for be done?
Yes, people afraid because them feel say once they open a shop, people go use the same route again when they use, create chaos, go take them business there, then go lost them property and money and other things then where not forbid the situation. So people therefore feel protected. So now that make government self don't institute say okay make the coffee at least for able for create calm or bring calm into the city or other places then for now and see how best would they able for settle that manner the way people they act go down the cold small but Wamat not they solve the problem. I always they talk now dialogue engagement let we continue with dialogue and see let government call the opposition together, let the opposition self find way for call the supporters them, let everybody civil society self get them in role then they play, let we all self pull with voices them. Thing will go bring calmness now in with the look out for right now, not a waiting go make people they act they want more and more. So now with that what they me self go left for now.
All right, many thanks. That's now Dr. Aissata Mahoy, the National Network Coordinator for OneApp. We're there in the studio this morning. We'll be done the talk about waiting for do for app manage anger and self, waiting for do for maintain the country peace so far. Now this edition of the program, Good Morning Salone, go left for now. Plenty thank you to the production team. Michael Sambola and Alex Lawrence Koroma produced the program. DJ Lavagi with technical support and make us see live again on Facebook. Until then, Mabel Kabade say, get yourself a wonderful day. Let we take on small and manage for protect Salone peace.
And Musa Kamadi wishing all a wonderful weekend. So till then, bye-bye.